So, 2 points that you mentioned. One is the soybean, and the other one is the milk.
Yeah.
I want to touch upon soybean. So, people, soybean is a very complete protein.
Correct.
It contains all the essential amino acids. And amino acids can be divided into two, essential and non-essential. Non-essential is something that your body produces. Essential is something that your body does not produce, and that is why you should take it through the dietary intake.
Right.
Soybean is one of a vegetarian source of protein where it is a complete source of amino acids. Why is there a small hesitancy in using soy, especially among Indian population?
See, soy has got one is its taste is not acceptable to many of our Indian tongue. So it's because it has got some amount of omega-3 in it, and it gives a little bit of a sour or a fishy kind of a taste. And soy also is a thing which has to be properly processed because it's got anti-nutrients as part of the ingredients. And but when properly cooked or soaked and cooked or fermented, etc., even those anti-nutrients go away. There are also been a misconception because there are certain isoflavones in soy, like denzine and adenosine and daidzein, and these are supposed to have an estrogen-like structure and considered to have an estrogen-like action. So there has been a lot of misconception which can actually affect the puberty in the adolescent, and that it may promote breast cancer, or it can cause abnormal uterine bleeding and all that. So these are all misnomers because they think because it's estrogen, so it has estrogen-like action. Actually, it has an estrogen-like structure, but it binds to a totally different set of receptors. There are two types of estrogen receptor, ER1 and ER2. This binds to ER2 receptor, which doesn't have an estrogen-like action. On the contrary, it has a agonistic action in the sense that in osteoporosis, when hormone estrogen is low in menopausal women, these isoflavones actually bind to the receptors and increase the bone formation. And therefore, they have an exact opposite effect. Now, even in breast cancer, etc., they have shown that it exactly has a beneficial effect, primarily because it binds to a different kind of a receptor, even though it looks like an estrogen. But people have, due to misconception, are told it has estrogen-like substance, it is not good for young people or children, etc. And therefore, it wasn't that popular. It was also recently shown that not everybody who consumes soya will have the entire benefit of the isoflavone because that again depends upon the gut bacterial population. The genistein actually gets converted to another thing called equal, and the equal is the actual active ingredient. And it is found that in Asians and especially East Asians, the equal production is higher than in the Western population. So one of the reasons they say that many of the benefits of the soy isoflavones is not seen in studies done in the West, but you see them in the East, like Chinese, Koreans, and Asians and all. Because we have that kind of bacteria which activate these isoflavones. So soy has got many advantages, but it should be properly processed and it shouldn't be eaten raw and half cooked, etc. Then you'll have a lot of abdominal discomfort because of anti-nutrients. But as you rightly said, among the vegetarian proteins, soy is a complete protein. It's the nearest to milk. If you look at we have what is a value called as PDCAS value, which takes into account the amino acids present, essential amino acid as you mentioned, and also the digestibility. A protein which has got all the essential amino acids but doesn't get completely digested will have less of an advantage. Soy protein that way has all the amino acids and also a digestibility which is high. So the PDCAS value is around 0.95 compared to milk, which is 1. Whereas if you take the PDCAS of many other legumes, there will be around 0.8 or 0.7, like means 70% less digestible, 80% digestible. That's how our plant proteins are less digestible compared to these animal sources of protein. And therefore, we need to either process them to make it more digestible. And also our diet should have a combination of both cereals as well as pulses so that you get all the amino acids. So two issues, see that everybody gets all the essential amino acid, and number two is see that it is digestible.
Uh,
then it really doesn't matter whether it's plant or animal protein.
animal protein.